Assalamu alaikum dear friends and students. Today we will discuss the solution of assignment based on synthesis and properties of alkenes. So the first question of the assignment was to arrange these five alkenes from most stable to the least stable. Well, before attempting this question, let us recall about the stability of alkenes. We know that tetra substituted alkene is the most stable and the mono substituted alkene is the least stable among the four patterns of substituted alkenes. Tri-substituted alkene is the second most stable and di-substituted alkene is the third most stable. So, with the increase in number of alkyl groups around the olefinic bond, the stability is developed. In the di-substituted alkene, in fact, we have two patterns. One is called the trans and the other is called the cis. So between trans and cis di-substituted alkenes, we have the trans substituted alkene to be more stable than cis. It's because of less steric hindrance. Now let us arrange the following these five alkenes from most stable to least stable. So if you see the alkene A, it is tri-substituted. The alkene B is di-substituted. The alkene C is also di-substituted, but the B is trans and C is cis. And then come to D, which is tetra-substituted, and obviously it is the most stable alkene among these five. And E, being the mono-substituted, is the least stable. So D is the most stable, which being the tetra-substituted. Now come to A because it is the tri-substituted alkene, and between B and C, B being the trans is the third most stable, and then C, which is the cis, and at the very end it is E, which is the monosubstituted alkene. Now come to the question 2. It simply asks to assign the cis trans configuration to each of the following alkenes. So let us recall what cis trans configurations are. In the cis alkene, basically we have the two similar substituents on the same side of the double bond, and with trans we mean two similar substituent to be placed on the opposite side of the double bond. So in cis we have on the same side, and in trans we have on the opposite side the two similar substituents. So now let us recall, let us see the alkene A, and if we consider this double bond, so we know that this cyclopropyl group on the left and this cyclopropyl group on the right, both being same, but they are on the opposite side of the double bond, hence this alkene is trans. Now come to alkene B. Again, across this double bond we have two similar substituents on the same side, and this time this alkene is cis. And remember, it is similar because it has the oxygen and then and the part of the cycle same on the both side, but we also may consider the lower part, and this carbon and carbon, which is also same on the both sides, so it is cis because of any of the two reasons. Now come to C, which is again the two similar groups on the opposite side of the double bond, so this is trans. Now come to D, and the alkene D, across this double bond we have two similar groups which are opposite to each other, so this alkene is also trans. And the last alkene here, basically this alkene E is the positional uh, isomer of this the stereoisomer of this alkene E, because in this case we have the two substituents on the same side of the double bond, so this is cis. So D and E are the stereoisomers to each other. Now come to the question 3. In this question we were simply asked to assign the Z and E configuration for these alkenes. So remember, there is a difference between cis trans and Z and E configuration. In cis, we simply define the cis alkene, the two similar substituents on the same side of the double bond. Here, we are not talking about the similar substituents, rather we are talking about the two high prioritized substituents on the same side. And for E alkene, the two high prioritized substituents are on the opposite side. So what is the priority? On what basis it is considered? Basically, priority means we when we have a competition between the two substituents, we make the decision on the basis of priority, and which is in turn is based on the higher atomic number. uh, One atom which is being the more atomic, which is having the high atomic number, is given the higher priority in comparison with the lower atomic number. So let us start our case. There we will come to know how Z and E alkenes are given the configuration. uh, let's take the alkene A first. Again, just have consider this double bond, which is marked in blue. Now, if you consider this bromine and chlorine, because these two substituents are attached on the same carbon, so bromine has the high atomic number and chlorine has the lesser atomic number in comparison with the bromine. So bromine is given the high priority from this side, and for this end of of the double bond, we have the direct connection of chlorine and the carbon. Although the bromine is here, but the bromine is after this carbon, so we will not consider this bromine, rather we will consider the carbon, because we have to consider the immediate member after the carbon of double bonded carbon. So chlorine is given the high priority. So now consider the two high prioritized groups, bromine and chlorine. They are not on the same side, rather they are on the opposite side. So this is not the Z configuration but E configuration. For the alkene B, here we have given this group to be the high priority over this group, because this is simply CH3 and this is C, and this C is connected to carbon, oxygen and hydrogen, and here this C is connected to three hydrogens. So we know that carbon and oxygen, obviously they have the high atomic number weight, atomic number as compared to the hydrogen. So so this group overall is given the high priority. And in comparison, when we compare this nitro with this CH2OH group, we know that nitrogen has higher atomic number than carbon. So here the nitro is given the high priority. So now if across this considering this double bond, we have the two substituents on the same side. So this is the Z configuration. For this alkene, here if you consider this portion, we have carbon and so on, rather we have only CH3 here. So this side is given the high priority over this side. And if you compare to the right hand side, here the reverse is the case. This isopropyl is given the high priority because this carbon, which is directly connected to this double bonded carbon, is further connected to two carbons. But here this carbon is connected to one carbon. So being attached to two carbon is better than being attached to one carbon. So by this token we have this high priority below for this end of the double bond, and we have the high priority above for this end of the double bond. So overall the two high prioritized groups are on the opposite side of the double bond, hence this is E configuration. Now consider the alkene D. Here we know that this site has the C carbon and then sulfur, and here the carbon and further carbon. So carbon and carbon, they are the same, but the sulfur has the high atomic number as compared to carbon. So this substituent is given the high priority over this substituent. And now compare this substituent, which is C, and here we have the direct connection of sulfur, and obviously sulfur is given the more priority. So this high priority is given to the sulfur. So overall, the two high prioritized groups are on the opposite side of the double bond. So the configuration of this alkene is E. Now let's discuss the question number 4, which is simply about the mechanism of this transformation. We have this tertiary alcohol, which is in fact the tertiary butyl alcohol, which is when treated with acid, it gave the alkene through the process called the elimination, and this is even reaction, not the E2 reaction. And let us discuss the mechanism. And remember, whenever there is an acid, the first step is always a protonation. So we have this alcohol, and only one side is susceptible for the protonation, which is the lone pair of this oxygen. So this alcoholic oxygen's lone pair will simply pull the proton from this hydronium ion, and as a result, we will have this protonated alcohol and a water molecule as a byproduct. Now, in the second step, this water molecule departs to afford this tertiary carbocation, which is stable but not much stable that we may isolate, but still it may survive for some time. That when the water molecule, which is just departed from this protonated alcohol, will serve as a base to abstract this beta proton. As a result, we will have a carbon-carbon double bond, which will definitely satisfy the valency of this carbon, which was the trivalent. Now it will become the tetravalent, and we have overall a double bond between the carbon-carbon, which is called the alkene. So we have converted the tertiary alcohol into the alkene through the process of elimination. Now, this is the last question for this assignment. Basically, it has 5 parts, in fact, 6 parts. So, just first consider the overall question. It says we have this haloalkane, in fact, the cycloalkane, halocycloalkane, which may give two types of alkene. One is called the X, the other is called the Y. Obviously, this halogen will be removed, but we have basically two types of beta hydrogen here. One is this type and the other is this type. So when this hydrogen and bromine is eliminated, we have this alkene. When this hydrogen and this bromine are eliminated, we have this alkene. And remember, this hydrogen is similar to this hydrogen. So the first question, part of this question, is which alkene between X and Y is more stable? So as we have discussed, that higher the number of alkyl substitution across the double bond, more stability it is having. So if you consider this alkene X, we have just two substitutions, and so this is called the di-substituted alkene. But if you consider this Y alkene, we have the tri-substitution. So obviously alkene Y is more stable than alkene X. And the second part of this question was which base between the smaller and bulky gives an alkene X. Alkene X is a less substituted alkene, or you could say the less stable alkene. But if you have the bulky base, we will get the less substituted alkene and not the more substituted alkene. So the answer is the bulky base. And why bulky base is the answer? Because if you consider this starting material, which is halocycloalkane, so you must know that when the bulky base comes to abstract the proton, this hydrogen or the proton is easier for the abstraction, because this has no steric hindrance and we have the easy access for the base to come and to abstract it. But this hydrogen, which is this beta hydrogen, is relatively less accessible in comparison with this methyl hydrogen. So bulky base prefers to pull the proton from the less hindered side. So as a result, we will have the less stable or the less substituted alkene. And this is the third part, is the reverse of the second part. Here it says which base gives an alkene Y? Alkene Y being the more stable and the more substituted. Here we have the simple phenomenon that the smaller base will simply pull this hydrogen to have the more substituted alkene. Basically, this hydrogen is more acidic as compared to this hydrogen, because this hydrogen gives the more stable alkene. But the problem with the bulky base is the accessibility. This bulky base does not have the access for this hydrogen, uh, because this is more easier to have, to be abstracted. Now come to the another part for this question. It says which rule explains the formation of X. So we have discussed that the bulky base gives the X alkene and the smaller base gives the Y alkene. And the whole discussion that we discussed is called the Hoffman rule for the less substituted alkene. Basically, it is the Hoffman rule that says if we use the bulky base, we have the less substituted alkene in our hand, and if we use the smaller base, smaller size base, we have the more substituted alkene in our hand, and which is simply called the Zaitsev rule. This is the question: which rule between the Hoffman and Zaitsev explains the formation of alkene Y? So the answer is Zaitsev rule, because in Zaitsev rule we get the more substituted alkene, and in Hoffman rule we get the less substituted alkene. And the second last question is simply give any three examples of smaller bases. In fact, there are many smaller bases, but if you consider the only three, so I would rather prefer to write the hydroxide, the ethoxide, and the amide. These three bases are quite common, and they are very much smaller in size. And the last part of this question was to know about the bulky bases, any three bulky bases. So bulky means large size bases. So here we have also shown you the structure. The first we have just chosen the tertiary butoxide. You could see this oxygen is connected to tertiary butyl group. So these three are CH3s. We have, and it means we have a carbon with three hydrogens, and this is LDA, lithium diisopropyl amide, which is also the bulky base. And among the three, this is the bulkier, which is called DBU, diaza bicyclo 540 undecane. This is also a bulky base, and also it is a neutral base. That is, it does not have any charge on it. We have also one more bulky base which is very common, that is called DBN, which you may call the younger brother of DBU. But as it was asked to write about the any three bulky bases, so we just chose to write these three bulky bases. So that's all for this assignment. I hope you enjoyed the solution of the assignment. Thank you.